Hey everybody, it's Shawn Healey here again with Carpe Diem Studio Consulting. Hey, today I wanted to talk to you about systemization. Obviously specifically about systemization of your business, but if we think about that word system, what does that mean? It really defines a way of doing something to get from point A to point B. It's how we do what we do. Now in our businesses, it's basically the same thing. How do we get from point A to point B with a specific task? A business is made up of hundreds of different systems, and usually when something goes wrong, there's really just a flaw in the system. So part of what I want you to think about is, how do we approach what we do? How do we let other people that are in business with us know how we're supposed to do what we do? Now, if you're an independent contractor or you're a sole proprietor, you're by yourself. So there's really not really that big of a deal in terms of doing what you do and how you do it. You still need to have a system though, a systems process, and really ultimately some sort of a systems manual. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second, but what I want you to think about is, as an individual, if you're by yourself, the more you understand specifically how you're supposed to do specific processes, really the less stressful things are going to be for you. It's going to create an environment where you know what to do, how to do, right? So from a bigger studio perspective, what does that really mean for us? As you bring on people with your studio, meaning bring on employees or contractors, the question is how do we do the things that we're supposed to do in a very specific way? Our expectations as owners are usually pretty specific with how we want things done. And the challenge is we don't really know that they're not getting done the way we want them to get done until they don't. This is really where systems manuals are born. What they are, a systems manual is essentially a book or a binder of how you want things done. Now, what are the benefits of having this kind of an approach toward running your business? On one hand, you can't expect everybody to read your mind. We hope we could. We try to make that happen a lot of the time, but it really isn't possible. And so what a systems manual is going to do is it's going to communicate for you, or at least help you communicate. It's gonna tell new people, employees, when you hire somebody new, how we run things around here. This is how we do what we do. So they're clear on us. So they're not kind of left out in the cold, not really being sure how to do things. A lot of the time when we bring on somebody new, we take them through a list of topics, we tell them how we want them to do it, and then we hope that they do it. We expect them to do it, so the challenge is when they don't do it the right way exactly, we get frustrated as owners. Other employees may get frustrated at the new employees. Clients may get frustrated because things aren't happening the way that they want. There's just a breakdown. There's always a breakdown when we have a lack of communication. So the first thing that a systems manual is going to do is it's going to help you communicate. It's going to help you to communicate to the new guys. It's also going to be a reference point for the people that have been there for a while. So if I don't do something on a regular basis, this systems manual is going to help me come back and remind me if I need to look up something, how to run a system or follow a process. It's going to remind me how to do it. The other thing is it's going to create a situation where it's kind of black and white, and it takes away the guessing game of what's supposed to happen. So really when we're looking at a system, we're looking at how do we explain, how do we communicate, and how do we effectively create a process that doesn't take as much energy, doesn't cause as much stress, creates a more clear path for the people that are trying to follow it. So most of us in these businesses, in these studios that we run, don't have systems manuals. If you have one, you're doing a pretty good job. They like I said, they develop over time, and they usually develop out of the things that are going wrong. So I would encourage anybody out there to really look at how you approach the way you do what you do. And I'm not talking about teaching a Pilates session or teaching a mat class or something like that. I mean, we can systemize that as well, but we're really talking about everything that happens in between. How do we follow a process that could be as simple as, for example, answering the phone, or maybe a little bit more complicated like running payroll and paying payroll taxes and things like that if that's what we do. So either way, they're important. Communication is key, really, at the end of the day. So I would encourage you to look at how, one, you're communicating the systems in your business. Do you have a systems manual? It's something that you should develop. And with our consulting company, this is something that we help a lot of the time studio owners with is that process of either developing one or thinking about how they really want their systems to be, how they want their procedures to be run. So would love to help you with that if that's of interest to you. And remember, no matter what you do, love your life and do your best to love your business. We're here to try to help you do that. So thanks for tuning in and look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.